Good morning, everybody. I want to take a minute just to kind of check in with all of you. I know I had sent one of my check-ins last week was about how things are going and what you want your teachers to know, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I really did read through all of those, and what a lot of you shared was just how stressed and how hard all this is to manage all of your work, how much more work it feels like you're getting from some of your classes, and I just want you to know that I get it. This is actually a lot more work on my end than I ever would have thought. Um, Last night I spent, 2.5 hours giving feedback for you guys. Friday night I spent 3 hours just looking at what had been turned in and trying to track down like it's a lot of work from all of us, and I totally get it. But I just want to let you know that I did hear that in some of your comments, and I'm going to make some adjustments this week that I'll talk about in a second. But I do want to make this something that you guys can manage and is not a huge stress to you guys. I know a lot of you also heard on Friday that the decision was made that we're not going to be going back to the school building for the rest of the school year. They've canceled in-person schooling. That doesn't mean our remote learning is going to end, but it does mean we're not going to have that opportunity to go back to school, to see all of each other again, to finish in a normal way, to have that end of the year thing. So I just want to let you guys know I really will miss you guys. I've had a great year with you guys so far. I know some of you I've had since all the way through 6th grade, but I've loved working with all of you, and I genuinely will miss all of you and hope you guys are doing okay. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy and managing all of this. So just so you guys know, I really am thinking about you and hope you guys are doing okay. A couple things for us based on that feedback you guys gave me. We are going to slow things down a little bit, particularly this week. We're going to kind of wrap up our probability unit today. The rest of this week is going to be doing things like reviewing adding integers and subtracting integers, some basics from earlier in the year. And then we'll jump into our new unit next week. I'll show you in a second, but I've started to put together a weekly checklist that just kind of shows you day by day what we're going to be working on in class. Hopefully it helps you stay organized a little better, kind of see what's coming up for the week, because I know a lot of you mentioned having trouble keeping track of everything and managing everything between your different classes. You guys are getting way better at this. You guys are certainly better at this than my 6th graders, but I really need you to make sure you're showing me your work when you're doing these activities. So I know some of them you're doing your work right on a Google slide, but if it's taking notes for a video or like today's review, you're going to need to write out your work on a sheet of paper, or some of you use Cami and that kind of stuff, whatever works for you. But when you're done, I need you to upload a picture of that work for me. I've got to be able to look at your work, see how you got to those answers, rather than just showing something having been clicked as turned in. And then game plan for today and this week. Today we're going to do our probability wrap-up. It's basically a review of the unit, and this one's going to count for points. It's a way for you to bump up your grade and earn some additional points. Use your notes, go back and look at the videos again, use your calculator, but do your best work. Show me what you know how to do, and then turn that in, and then that will be worth some additional points to your grade. It's a nice way for us to bump up our grades and improve those as the year finishes out, because I know we haven't had many chances for grades here recently. A couple things for us in Google Classroom. Again, if you're having trouble with turning stuff in, there's a nice link right in your classwork tab, uploading your work to Google Classroom. There's a video there, and there's also a Google Doc there. It's a great step-by-step instructions on how to upload a picture from your phone or from the webcam of your computer, however it might work, but something that might help out if you're having trouble with that. I know a lot of you have done that a lot already, but if you need it. Then in our assignments for this week, we've got the weekly checklist, and I'll start doing this every week to kind of give you a game plan, but that just wraps up what we're doing each of the different days and what you're going to be working on. After today and the wrap up and finishing things up, the rest of the week is going to be pretty light. It's a real quick, 4-minute video to review adding or subtracting integers, and then, 10 minutes of practice. Just something to keep that fresh in our brains. Today's assignment is going to be our probability wrap up. You're going to do the review on either a sheet of paper or by printing it out, but I've got to see your actual work for those problems, not just an answer. Feel free to use your notes, videos, calculator, upload a picture of it to Google Classroom, and then use the Google form to enter in your final answers. And that'll help us check to see how many we have correct. But you've got to be caught up on your missing work. So get that missing work turned in, work on that today, and then work on this review when you get an opportunity. One thing I want to show you And I don't know for some of you if you've ever used it before, but in classwork, you might see a part up here that says view your work. I've got my daughter added into our class here, but this just shows all of your classes to keep track of what have I turned in, what haven't I turned in, and you'll see a little paper clip next to them. That just shows what has been uploaded with it. So like the Google Drive activity here, I have my daughter here in the class as kind of a pretend student. You'll see your actual document here, or maybe what you added, but then you're going to notice that a second document is going to start showing up. These are where I've given you some feedback on how you did on the assignment. And I did that last night for this independent and dependent events practice. I did it for the permutations practice. And then I did it for the compound events and fundamental counting principle practice. So those Google slides that you were doing, I went back and made some actual notes on it. So you'll know it because there'll be a 2 there instead of just a 1, meaning an additional document is there. It'll come back and it'll be titled edited and then the name of the document. But when you click on that, you'll actually see where I made some notes if you had a mistake or if you forgot something or if I needed to clarify something. But I'm going to start doing that on a more regular basis. But that's the easiest place to find it, is to see what's been attached. If you don't see anything attached for those, that means you did yours correctly. There was nothing to fix and you were good to go. But start getting in the habit of checking those, and I'm going to start being in the habit of more regularly giving you that feedback, so that way you can kind of see how you're doing in those assignments. All right, I hope all of you have an awesome week. Hang in there. I know it's not fun with it getting nice out. You don't really want to be inside working in your work, but hopefully we can knock this stuff out and have a good rest of the day and have a great week. Take care.